None of this makes sense yet. But what I do know is that they was going to slight Shaq and Kobe regardless. And what's interesting to me is they keep mentioning Steph won without another All-Star and Jokic won without an All-Star as well. So I guess the main thing that we can take away from this list is that they're punishing Shaq and Kobe for playing together. Shaq and Kobe is getting dropped on this list because they played together. Like, that's a superstar and a superstar side by side. Because they're rewarding and exalting Steph from being able to get a ring without a superstar, without an all-star. Right? So he got 2 without an all-star on this. Well, that's not even true because Draymond and Clay made all-star. So they're saying Steph got it without a number 2 superstar. So Clay's not a superstar and Steph still run 2 rings with him. So we got to put Steph higher. Then they're saying Jokic won 1 ring without an all-star. So we got to put him up high as well. But since Shaq and Kobe played together, we got to drop them. But here's the funny thing. They didn't drop LeBron from number 1 from playing with Wade and Bosh, Ray Allen, and from playing with AD, Dwight Howard, and freaking Rondo, and playing with Westbrook and Melo, and playing with Luka. And now he's trying to go play with Steph again. So LeBron didn't lose any points for playing with all that greatness. But Shaq and Kobe gets dropped down for playing with all that greatness, and Steph and Jokic get exalted. Right? So they were going to make this list about how can we drop Shaq and Kobe regardless, and then contradict themselves in the entire list. Because if you're going to drop them for that, there's no way you can have LeBron at number 1. There's no way. Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, there's still Kobe disrespect going on, this time at CBS Sports. So we're gonna get into it. They wrote an article last week. I don't think a lot of people have caught wind of it yet, but it came across my eye yesterday, and I felt like I needed to come and talk about it, man. So that's what we're gonna do. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button. A lot of y'all are watching, and I appreciate y'all for watching, but please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button if you want to do that as well. Just to share the video with other people, man, that might not know anything about Man Down Sports, man. So do that for sure. But this topic, I think a lot of people, I think y'all gonna want to comment on this because this is interesting, and I got an interesting perspective on it as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going through Twitter or X, what they call it now, and I followed this account called NBA Retweet, and I seen them tweet the top 10 from CBS's article, or CBS Sports article, and it was a top 10 based on what they perceive to be the top 10 best players of the century, of the 21st century. So everything after 2000 to now. Who are the best players? And this is the top 10 they came up with. LeBron James, number 1, Steph Curry, number 2, Tim Duncan, number 3, and Nikola Jokic, number 4, over Shaq and Kobe. Very, very unusual top 10 for this century, especially when you take into account that Jokic came into the league. When the Jokic coming in the league, he's been in the league less than 10 years, right? So you got Shaq, who I think retired in maybe somewhere around, let's say he played about 12 years in this century, possibly, probably a little bit more. And of course, all 12 of them wasn't dominant, but let's say he was dominant 10 out of those 12 years. So 10 years in this century from Shaq, and 10 years or less than 10 years from Jokic, and you measure that, and you got about 4 championships with Shaq, and you got 1 championship with Jokic. And I'm trying to figure out how CBS is grading it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to figure out what criteria they're using, right? Because I don't think winning is part of it when they're talking about who the best was in the century. the top 10 players in the century. Like, how do you determine who the better player is? Right. So that's the top 10. And one thing I do want to mention is that I know this is rage bait. I know the name of the game, especially in the off season for the NBA. If you want NBA content to get a lot of reaction and a lot of clicks and views, because that's the name of the game now when it comes to social media, and even mainstream is trying to tap into social media as much as possible. And they know it's about clicks. It's about hot takes. It's been about hot takes since debate shows started. So it's been about hot takes for most of Steph, KD, and LeBron's career. It's been about hot takes. Hot takes was huge. Debates and saying very inflammatory things that, they get a lot of attention was, been a shock jock, all of that stuff, big time. But now rage baiting is a thing. So ever since the Kobe stuff started with, Gilbert Arenas and LeBron James saying what they said about certain things pertaining to Kobe, T-Mac saying what he said, you got to understand how much attention and how the people that are fans of Kobe and people just fans of basketball in general, you ain't got to be a Kobe fan to to see how they was carrying his name and be annoyed by it, right? Former teammates, like the Kobe thing was big time. Gil's Arena got like multiple shows off of just that Kobe, that one T-Mac take of Kobe. Multiple shows. I'm talking about he did 2 or 3 shows on his main channel, Gil's Arena. Then he was going back and doing shows on his other channel, his solo channel, No Chill Gil, and was getting clicks there. And I think he went and debated somebody. He debated Scott. Like, this Kobe thing is a big deal. And now, it's a copycat. They say the NBA is a copycat league, but content creation is a copycat sport as well. And once you see one thing working over here, that Kobe topic is hot, they follow in suit. So CBS, they come out with their top 10 list, and there's no list that comes out in the off season that's a good list unless you slight someone. Like, you have to have a controversial stance on what your list is. It's got to be controversial some type of way. And the huge name right now is Kobe. If you throw Kobe name out there and slight him, you're going to get attention, right? So I'm not going to rage bait because I know this is for rage bait. Kobe's just a hot name to slight right now. You slight Kobe, they coming for you. You getting a lot of attention, right? So they know what they're doing with this list. They slight him. They throw him at 6. They throw Nikola Jokic over him. I think and Steph over him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be mad at if you think Duncan is over Kobe, because I think that's a closer that's more than accurate than anything else, even with LeBron, right? Who's the better player on that list? I mean, Kobe, in my opinion, but Duncan's right there. And I think those two kind of separate themselves in my humble opinion. Right. But definitely Nikola Jokic is not number 4 over Shaq and Kobe. That is insane. Like, that is insane. Right. So I wanted to see how they came up with this. Right. So let's start with the cover first and foremost. Ranking the top 25 players of the 21st century, from LeBron to Russ. Kobe misses the top 5. Jokic over Shaq. They're letting you know in the title, this is what we want you to be raged about, because they know it's controversial. Otherwise, they wouldn't put it in the title. Kobe misses the top 5, and the Kobe fans will say, what? Kobe's not in the top 5 of top players in the 21st century? What? I have to click on this. I gotta read this article. I gotta look at this list. Right? That's the thing. And Jokic over Shaq. What? How can Jokic be over Shaq? Right? So that's what they want you to think. And then it says the fine print below the title, CBS Sports NBA experts. I wonder what makes the CBS sports journalists, NBA experts. I guess if you cover the NBA, that automatically makes you an expert in journalism perspective, I guess. But it says CBS NBA experts have ranked the ranked the 25 best players in the last 25 years. And this article was written by Brad Botkin, James Hubert, and Jasmine Winbush, August 20th. Right? They don't tell you how many CBS Sports NBA experts work at CBS Sports and who was all involved in ranking this top 25. They don't tell you that, but I at least wanted to, because the names that keep coming up is Brad, James, and Jasmine. I at least wanted to kind of like look them up. Bruh, I look, I can't make this up. I'm gonna read to you the bio. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can put it on screen. Okay, here's James Herbert. Look at the face. Think about him getting on the court. Just think about him shooting free throws. Think about him doing a 3-man weave. Think about him in the layup line. Think about him posting up. Think about him fronting the post. Think about him denying the ball. Just think about him doing all those things. If he's ever done it and how he would look doing it. Just think about him. Look at that picture and just think about that. I don't judge a book by its cover, but I just want you to think about that. And then read his bio. James Herbert is somewhat fond of basketball. Feature writing and understatements. A former season ticket holder for the expansion Toronto Raptors, Herbert does not think the NBA was better back in the days of hand checking and illegal defense. He joined CBS Sports in 2014 and lives in Brooklyn. Really? Okay. Interesting. What about you, Jasmine? Jasmine Winbush. Jasmine Winbush joined CBS Sports as a basketball reporter in 2019. Prior to that, she wrote for USA Today and Fansided. Interesting. Brad Botkin. He didn't have a bio, but I'm just looking. Interesting. So those was the writers. I'm not sure how much input they had on coming up with the top 25. I'm not sure if there were more people involved, if it was just them three. Like, I don't know how many experts, quote unquote experts, was involved in this, but those familiar names will keep coming up as you start reading through their explanations why they put players where they put them. And I just think it's very interesting. I really don't think it was no more than 5 people that was involved in coming up with this top 25. I think that's interesting. Here's something they wrote. I skipped that first paragraph because that's like the ending of something that was above it. But starting from the second paragraph, you see from the top, it says, sure, there's an overlap in that number, but it illustrates just how dominant these guys were. In some cases, still are. As we take a look back at the NBA's top 25 players in 25 years in the 21st century, keep in mind this ranking only accounts for basketball played after January 1st, 2000. Nothing Shaq did in Orlando or in the first few years with LA counts, right? Mind you, the first few years in LA before 2000, they didn't win anything. They was getting put out by Utah every year. They won their first ring 2000, 2001. Right. So their rings would count, but his stats won't count. Right. So keep that in mind. Technically, neither does Duncan's first ring title in 99, though in spirit, that one resonates as the true beginning of the Spurs dynasty. That's already a contradiction. So he said nothing Shaq did in Orlando or anything that he did in his first couple of years with LA, because it was before 2000, January 1st. So nothing in 99, 98, or 97, 96, of course, nothing in 97, 98, and nothing in 98, 99 counts. But then they go turn around and say, but in spirit, the 99 title that the Spurs won with Duncan, in spirit, that resonates because it's the true beginning of the Spurs dynasty. What kind of foolery are they already on? Just think about what they just said. Shaq stuff don't matter before 2000, but Duncan's do. Right? So you already know this is some tomfoolery, right? So third paragraph, this ranking arrived at by way of CBS Sports NBA staff voting. How many? They won't tell us how many. I'm guessing 5. I think it was those 3 writers and probably 2 other people that probably work in the mailroom, right? They said that it's sure to be debated. I can already hear the Kobe contingent. I can already hear the cries of the Kobe contingent for what does, in all fairness, feel like too low a ranking to accurately capture his greatness. Even though I agree with all the players ranked above him, such is life in what has been by far the most collectively talented era in the NBA history. To crack the top half of this list, you had to be an all-time great. And even the guys on the lower half are headed straight to Hall of Fame if they're not already there. Right. So at the beginning of them trying to explain how they arrived, what they arrived with, they're already trying to give you a disclaimer. They're letting you know, hey, none of Shaq stuff counts because we're letting you know we put Shaq too low, but we got a reason why we put him too low because we can't count anything that happened before 2000. However, we got Duncan very high, and we're letting you know that we are counting his first ring in 99. Then they come in and say and tell you why they really got Kobe at 6 is because I can already hear the cries of the Kobe contingent. They know what this list would do to people who's paying attention because they know ranking Kobe that low is going to cause outrage. So they're already alluding to it at the beginning of this whole thing. Right. I think it's very interesting. Right. So I just want you to keep an eye on the rest of the things that we read when we start going through their explanations on why they got the players racked and stacked the way they got them. All right, so let's start with LeBron James first, right? LeBron James played from 2003. Of course, he got drafted in 2003. That famous draft with him, Melo, Wade, Bosh. There was a deep draft with those guys, right? Don't forget Darko Milicic. So 2003 to now, he's still playing, right? Played for the Cavs, Heat, Lakers. Right now, listen how they arrived to what they're talking about, right? And I want you to see how different each one is. Like, there's no real criteria. Like, you're just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. And by the way, these are storylines and narratives. This isn't like hard, concrete, like, this is why we got this player here, and we're gonna grade all of them based on this same criteria. Like, if you showed me a criteria and said this is how we're choosing them, and then the chips fall where they may, I can respect it. But if you're coming out here and you're saying we're just going to throw out a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of fluff out there, and then rank them, and then you're not going to know why this guy is over this guy. All I did was mention what was good about this guy and mention what was good about this guy. And no one's going to know why I decided why what player A did, it should be ranked higher than what player B did. Like, I don't know what you value. I don't know if you value defense. I don't know if you value winning. I don't know if you just value stats. I don't know if you just value MVPs, or I don't know if you value who got the best storyline. But for LeBron James, it's the storyline. LeBron was crowned the chosen one. That's fluff. What does him being crowned the chosen one have to do with him being number one? He was crowned the chosen one on the cover of Sports Illustrated before he played a single game. It was impossible It was an impossible level of hype to live up to, and yet somehow James has actually exceeded the expectation and becoming arguably the greatest player to ever live. Right? So that's fluff. That didn't get us nowhere. I don't know why he's number. So you got a great storyline. He had a lot of pressure. I keep hearing that from a lot of people in the media and a lot of LeBron fans. Like, okay, he had hype and he had pressure, and then he lived up to it. And what? What does that mean? Tell me why he's the number one player in this century. Not because he had the most hype and lived up to it. It can't be that. The guy has played 22 seasons and was the top 10 MVP finisher in the first and in the last season. Why is that valuable? So there's 10 guys being considered, or at least got a vote or consideration for MVP, and he got consideration in the top 10 his first year, and in his 22nd year, he got consideration in the top 10. Why does that mean that you're the number one player in this century? That doesn't tell me anything, right? In between, he's won 4 MVPs. Okay, cool. So now you're talking about some things he actually, all right, so this isn't fluff. He won 4 MVPs. So right now, we know that these writers they value MVPs. Okay, got it. He got 4 MVPs in a 5-year span and 4 championships. Okay, they might value championships. He got 4 MVPs, 4 championships. Okay, cool. So out of 25 years, he's played 22 of them out of the 25 years. So that's a great advantage that you actually played most of this century. Whereas people like Duncan, Shaq, Kobe, you know, they only played half of this century. So LeBron already gets a leg up. But hold up. If you played 22 of the 25 years in this century, and you got 4 rings, and someone that only played half of this century got 5, that's something to actually point out, right? But as far as stats, accumulated stats and all that stuff, you playing 22 out of 25 years, it gets you a leg up on somebody who played half of this century, because of course Shaq and Kobe and Duncan, they came in the mid 90s. So they did part of their career in the 90s, and then they rolled over to the 2000s. And then they retired in the mid 2000s. Well, I won't say mid 2000s. I say in the middle of this century. My apologies. In the middle of this century, or the middle of this 25-year span that we've done so far in this century. Right. So that's interesting. So MVPs, okay, cool. You got 4 of them. But it's guys that played less years in this century. They got 5 rings and you got 4. So I don't know if his 4 rings really justify him being number one. But maybe they don't value rings. Maybe they just value MVPs. So we'll see. We'll go. So far we got fluff, and then 4 rings, 4 MVPs. Okay, got it. Right. And oh, by the way, he has a long past Kareem as the NBA's all-time scoring leader. Okay, boom. So he's got the scoring lead, number 1. 4 rings, 4 MVPs. All right. So those are the tangible things. Scoring lead or scoring record all time. 4 rings, 4 MVPs, right? In terms of peak performance, only a few players in history are even arguably in LeBron's class. In terms of longevity and consistency, nobody has or likely ever will come close. Okay, so that makes him number 1 in the century, right? 4 MVPs, 4 rings, all-time record. Those are 3 great things. I got to give it to him. Those are 3 great things. 4 rings, 4 MVPs, all-time record, right? That's what they mentioned. Everything else was fluff. Nobody cares about their storyline, all right? And you're going to see why. It's going to be very interesting, right? So then we get to Steph. He's been playing since 2009. So he's played less than LeBron. And then we're not even going to mention what his first couple of years was like in the league. His first 3 years was hectic. It wasn't pretty, right? He wasn't what we know of Steph now, and that's my dog, right? So yeah, I mean, he's dominated with even less years. Like I remember looking recently looking at the all-time scoring leaders and saying that Kevin Durant is going to move into the top 5 by the end of this season coming up. And I just wanted to see what Steph was at, and I don't think Steph is even top 20. He's not. I mean, he's not even there yet. I don't think he's gonna crack the top 10. And we look at Steph as like one of the greatest scorers ever. He's not gonna crack the top 20 or the top 10 by the time it's all said and done. Got about 2 or 3 years left. He's not gonna get there. Right. I think that's interesting. Right. So there's a case that Curry's peak was higher than LeBron's 4 championships, 3 of which came. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a case that Curry's peak was higher than LeBron's 4 championships. Okay, so we counted LeBron's 4 championships and his 4 MVPs and his scoring lead. All right, so what are they gonna count? Are they gonna count the same thing for Steph? All right, 4 championships. Okay, they count rings. 3 of which came over LeBron, and 2 of which came without the help of a true second superstar. I'm so tired. All right, so that's fluff. Those are storylines. Like, what does that mean? Without the help of a true superstar. So now we're saying that they're giving Steph more love because he got 2 rings without the help of a true superstar. So they're downgrade. They're doing the LeBron where we're going to downgrade his teammates and his help to make him seem greater. So now Clay gets downgraded. It's not a 4. He's not a legit number 2. And so they're saying that, man, Steph won 2 rings despite having Clay as a number 2. So now you downgrade Clay to make him look better in the storyline, right? So that justifies him being number 2, right? Okay, cool. He won 2 without a superstar, without a number 2. Dang, so much disrespect. Hey, man, it's gonna get to the point where a true sign of greatness is if I could speak on how great you were without downgrading your teammates, then you probably was truly great. But if I had to downgrade your teammates, then we're probably lying. 6 finals appearances. So appearances matter. Okay. 11 all NBA selections in a 12-year span. Best player on the NBA record, 73-win team. I mean, that's a little flex. You led a 73-win team. I give you that. All-time 3-point leader. Okay, cool. He broke that record. We talked about LeBron breaking Kareem's record. So Steph got a record. He's number 1 on the 3-point list. LeBron's number 1 on the scoring list. A 73-win team. All right, cool. All these are good flexes. But these aren't things. These are just good flexes, right? This ain't concrete type stuff, though. 2-time MVP, cool. 2-time MVP is legit, including 1 unanimous MVP. Got it. That's dope. All right, so yeah, that's good stuff. But does that mean I'm the best player in the century? In the century over Kobe? First of all, how can you be the best player of the century where you played in the same century with a player that's better than you, like hands down better than you? Like Kobe is hands down better than Curry. So what would Curry have to do in this century to be considered a better player in this century than Kobe? I can only see that if Kobe after his Achilles injury, if Kobe would have tore his Achilles in early in the century, like in 2005, and then he played 50% of himself like he did his last season before he retired. If Kobe played like most of the century like that, then okay, maybe. Like we know peak Kobe is better than peak Steph, but he declined so much during this century that you got to get Steph denied over him. But that didn't happen. Like Kobe was better than Steph until he retired, even after the Achilles. All right. 30 points per game while shooting 45% from the 3. Okay, all cool. A lot of fluff, but it's some stuff in there. All right, it's some stuff in there. All right. I still don't have an idea of what they say. I mean, because it's like one thing if like if you're just going to name different stuff for different people, like what I just read, how do I determine if what you just wrote for LeBron is better than what Curry just did? Like they both got 4 rings. The only thing I can really say that LeBron did better was the 4 MVPs versus Steph's 2 MVPs. Okay, cool. Both got 4 rings though, but one got a 73 record, a unanimous MVP. Supposedly he won without a real number 2. I guess that's supposed to count for something. So I wonder how you come up with, let's put LeBron over Curry. How do you come up with that? Like from reading what we just read and what they wrote, there's no rhyme or reason to how they coming up with this. Like I'm still confused. Let me know in the comment section, like if you can figure out, like, oh, I see where they're going with it. I know where they're going with it. I get it, right? But then they get to Tim Duncan, and do I got Tim Duncan's up here? Let me see what Tim Duncan is at. Do I have Tim Duncan's? I do got Duncan. Here's Duncan right here. So Tim Duncan is less appreciated. That's where they start. Right? He played from 97 to 2016. Right? Less appreciated, or at least less celebrated. Okay, cool. He's quiet. People don't talk about Duncan enough. Get to the point. Then he's less appreciated and less celebrated than his glitziest contemporaries, i.e. Shaq and Kobe. That's already a red flag. Like, so you're mentioning other guys when you're trying to talk good about Duncan. And you're saying that he's less appreciated and less celebrated than his glitziest contemporary, Shaq and Kobe. Like, we just go throw those 2 names out there. Remember, these are the same 2 names they mentioned in the beginning of the article that kind of give you a foreshadow that, hey, we slighted them. Remember, we're not using Shaq's years before 2000. And also remember, and Kobe got slighted. That's pretty much what they said at the beginning, right? So now they mentioning them again. They letting you know what this whole list is about. We want y'all to be mad about Jokic over Shaq and Kobe at number 6. That's the whole point of this article and this list. They said that he wasn't as celebrated as his glitziest contemporary Shaq and Kobe, but he was better than both of them. I can't argue with that though. Duncan is like that. Duncan is ranked very high, but I think it's very interesting. Duncan is better than Shaq and Kobe, but not better than Curry and LeBron. It just fascinates me. It really fascinates me how they came up with it, right? But not better than LeBron, not better than Curry, right? Okay, he was better than Shaq and Kobe though. The better comparisons are Tom Brady and Steph Curry, in that detractors on both those greats tried for so long as possible to categorize them as products of their respective systems. But in the end, everyone came to realize that they were the system. Okay, so he said, Tim Duncan, some people try to say he was a product of Pop's system. No one thought that. No one thought Tim Duncan was a product of the system. We all seen what Tim Duncan was at Wake Forest. He was a number 1 pick. He came in immediately, meshed very well with David Robinson. And the next thing you know, as a second-year player or maybe even a rookie, no, they won in 99. So that was his 3rd year. He came in 97, 98. Okay, 98, 99. So his 2nd year, he wins a ring with with David Robinson. No one thought that it was the system. Tim Duncan was unreal. When Tim Duncan first came in the league, his numbers, he can get whatever numbers he wanted. the more the team dynamic changed when they didn't need him to post up every play, touch the ball every play, dominate all the time. He kind of played within he played within the system, but no one ever thought that Duncan is good because of the system. No one thought that. Yes, we did think that for Tom Brady for sure. No, we did not think that for Steph Curry. Like, what the hell are they talking about? He was the system. Get out of here. And first of all, he wasn't the system. That was Pop's system. Duncan was great though, right? But this is more fluff. Nobody cares about that, right? Same with Duncan and the Spurs. You think LeBron took the league by storm? Duncan won MVP honors in 2001 and 2002 and finished top 10 in the voting in each of his first 8 years of the century. So where you finish it in the MVP vote, I guess, is a big deal, right? So they mentioned where Duncan finished it in the MVP vote. They mentioned where LeBron finished in the MVP vote. Keep that in mind. While he didn't enjoy quite the longevity of LeBron, he was an elite player for nearly 2 decades, winning his 5th and final championship in his 16th season and finishing top 10 in the MVP voting at 39 years old. So where you finish at the MVP voting is very important to these writers, right? Stats aren't that important because they're not mentioning a lot of stats. And Tim Duncan wasn't a stat guy, but he's ranked above Shaq and Kobe. And the hard-hitting things that they got that's not fluff is the fact that he got 5 rings. I don't care how old he was when he got the ring. Like that's fluff. That doesn't matter. I don't care where he finished at in the MVP voting when he didn't win. Like, what's the point? Especially saying he finished top 10. Like, I can see if you said he finished second. That might mean something. Now, he was almost MVP. He finished number 2, but, he just got beat by somebody that was slightly better. Top 10? What is that telling me? Right? But they mentioned that for LeBron and Duncan, right? I wonder if they're going to mention it for Kobe and Shaq. Well, they finished it when it was top 10 when they didn't win it. I wonder if they're going to mention that, right? Mind you, it's all positive stuff that they're writing. All positive stuff about Curry, all positive stuff about LeBron, all positive stuff about Duncan. Nothing negative, right? But they said something negative about somebody else in Duncan's piece of it, right? What else they said that was hard hitting? I mean, basically his MVPs and his rings. He got 5 of them, and he got 2 MVPs. Or did he got more? He got more than that. I don't know how many MVPs he got. But that's basically what they mentioned, right? So right now we got where you finish at in the top 10 for MVP votes, important. Your rings are important, and the MVPs you won, right? And then if you got any records, they mentioned Kareem's record that LeBron broke, and they mentioned Reggie Miller, Ray Allen's record that Steph broke. Right? So records, MVPs, rings matter, right? So who's number 4 after Tim Duncan? Nikola Jokic came in the league in 2015, didn't get percolating until about 2016, 17. So about 7 years worth of work. He's the top 4 player in the entire century. And about 7 years of work, right? Now, mind you, they're honoring rings. They're honoring where you finished at top 10 for MVP. They're honoring MVPs that you won. They're honoring records. All right, so let's say what they say about Jokic. Let's say if they just flip the whole script and say something totally different. This is one to sure spark some controversy. I hope not. I hope everybody's smart enough to know that y'all only doing this for controversy. Like, this is the only reason why you're doing this list. You got to find a way to spark controversy. I hope no one falls for it, right? I'm just trying to point out how retarded y'all are, right? This one is sure to spark some controversy, but I stand in full support of the cumulative findings of this poll. Nikola Jokic is a better basketball player now than Shaq ever was. That's not a knock on Shaq. and all obvious all-time great and the next guy on the list. Jokic is just another level in terms of everything he brings and overall impact. That still don't tell us nothing. Jokic is better than Shaq because Jokic is on another level in terms of everything he brings and overall impact. Overall impact means winning. Shaq's impact led teams to 4 rings. Jokic's impact has led teams to 1 ring. Overall impact, like there's only one impact that matters, and it's the win-loss column. That's the only impact. What other impact is there to measure? No, seriously, like what other impact is there to measure? Like it don't make sense. Like if the goal is to win, or let's take it away from sports and winning. Well, you know what? I say this. Let's take it off sports for a second, and let's put it in terms of overall impact. I want to get a nail. I want to hammer a nail down. I want to see which hammer is better. I got 3 hammers, right? The only thing I'm worried about is the hammer getting the nail in the wood to measure overall impact, because that's the goal. The goal is to get the hammer in the wood or the nail in the wood, right? I can care less on how many, you get what I'm saying? Like I can care less about statistics when it comes to overall. Like you can't mention overall impact to me and be talking about anything other than winning or what the final goal is. The final goal is get the nail in the wood, and in basketball, the final goal is win. So how is Jokic overall impact on another level than Shaq's? And Shaq got 4 rings and Jokic got 1. Like, am I in the twilight zone? Okay, so they're going to explain what his impact is. 5 straight years, Jokic has finished either first or second in MVP voting. So here we go again. We're counting where you finish at in MVP. So not winning the MVP, but where you finish at is important as well. They said LeBron finished top 10 a lot of times. Duncan finished top 10 a lot of times. Now they saying that Jokic done finished in the top 2 for 5 straight years. So that's supposed to mean something, right? So his overall impact is not winning the ring. His overall impact is where he finished at in the MVP race. You got to be kidding me, dog. Either first or second in MVP voting. He won 3 of them and has been the best player in the world unequivocally for the last half decade. That's fluff. What does that matter? That's not even a matter of fact that he's been the best player for half a decade. Like, that ain't even a fact. And like, how does that put him? This is ridiculous, dog. This is ridiculous. The championship he won with the Nuggets. Oh, here we go. So this one championship he got, I guess is supposed to be better than the 4 that Shaq got. Well, let's hear why. The championship he won with the Nuggets sans a single All-Star teammate is a greater accomplishment than any championship Shaq had ever won alongside Kobe Bryant or D Wade. So they did a whole magic trick where they said that the ring that Jokic got didn't have a all-star teammate, so it is a better ring than all 4 Shaqs. Or not, they ain't say all 4 of them. They say any one that he got, which also supposed to mean that, I don't know. Well, guess what? If you say his 1 ring is better than just pick any ring that he won with Kobe or D Wade, okay, cool. Now that cancels out. Now Shaq got 3 rings. It's still more than his 1. So what impact are they talking about? And mind you, they didn't. we go read what they say about Shaq in a minute. By the time Jokic's career is over, he would would be largely regarded as the greatest big man to ever play. So that means by the time he finish, even if he don't get another ring, he's going to be better. He's already better than Shaq by their mind. He's going to be better than Duncan. He's already better than Dirk in their mind. So he's going to be better than He's already better than Garnett. He's going to be better than Duncan. He's going to be better than Kareem. He's going to be better than Wilt. He's going to be better than Bill Russell. He's going to be better than Karl Malone. Like, this is what they're saying. They say he's already there. We ain't got enough ammo to put him over Duncan right now, but we can put him over Shaq. We can definitely put him over Shaq. This is their way of thinking, right? This is how they think. So let's see what they got for Shaq. So this is the only knock on Shaq. He was done playing by 2011, and I think those last 3 years where he played for Phoenix and Cleveland and Boston, I think he was really done by 2008. Right. So this is the only knock for Shaq in this century is that he didn't play long or dominate long enough. But his 8 years versus Jokic 8 years, I'm sorry. Like, Jokic got 8 years in this thing. He's got 3 MVPs and 1 ring. Shaq got 2 MVPs and 4 rings. I'm trying to figure out what criteria they're going by. But listen to how they wrote about Shaq. Remember, they didn't say anything negative about the first 4. All great things about Duncan, all great things about Jokic, all great things about Steph and LeBron. In fact, while talking about Duncan and praising him, they had to put Shaq and Kobe down. I thought that was interesting. So here they are talking about Shaq. It says Superman, Diesel, the big Aristotle. Call him what you want. But Shaq was one of the most dominant basketball players to ever take the floor. His grace and agility were unprecedented for a man of his massive 7'1", 300+ pound frame. And the fearsome combination led to 4 NBA championships, 3 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, 2 scoring titles, 3 all defensive selections, and 14 all NBA appearances. This all came from a player who many believe didn't necessarily dedicate himself 100% toward basketball. That didn't need to be said, right? Nobody before him had anything. Nobody said, and this coming from a player that doesn't dedicate himself to defense when they was talking about Jokic. Nobody said that. Nobody said he didn't play D. Nobody mentioned what the negative was for Jokic, Duncan, LeBron, or Steph. Like, and there are negatives. Nobody mentioned the negatives for neither one of those guys. But here they is talking about it's coming from a guy who people consider didn't dedicate himself to basketball 100%. That didn't need to be said. Right? Then they said he would be higher on this list. This is different language for Shaq. They wasn't speaking like this for the first 4 guys. He would be higher on this list. And listen to how bad they make themselves look and how bad they contradict. They say he would be higher on this list if it encompassed his early career with the Orlando Magic. So they're saying he came in the league in 92, right? And he played what? When did he come to the Lakers? He came to the Lakers, 96 maybe? Coming to the Lakers 96 maybe? I say 96, 97. So he played about 4 or 5 years with Orlando. So they're saying if we included Orlando, he would be high on this list. Okay, in Orlando, he didn't win no rings. He didn't win no MVPs. I don't think, like, right. I mean, I guess it's just a cumulative stats. Like, I don't understand he would be higher if we included Orlando. That don't even make sense. Now read what makes it make any less sense. Read what makes it make even less sense. So they start by saying he would be higher if they added his Orlando career. Then it says, but his most impressive, listen, most impressive accomplishments came after the turn of the century as a member of the Lakers and Miami Heat. What sense does that make? So they're saying his best accomplishments was with the Lakers and the Heat, but he would be higher if we added Orlando. If he did all his damage with Lakers and Heat, why adding Orlando would make him higher? One ring with the Heat and a three-peat with the Lakers, 3 Finals MVPs, 2 MVPs in the season, scoring titles, Defensive Player of the Years. Like what? That don't even make sense. Adding his Orlando stuff will make him higher, but we go acknowledge that his best accomplishments was with the Lakers and the Heat. That don't that's unreal, right? So he's 5th all time in career player efficiency rating. Who cares? That's fluff. According to Basketball Reference, he's trailing Anthony Davis, LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Nikola Jokic. All right. Very, very unusual language to describe Shaq's greatness and justify why he's at number 5 behind Jokic. Like none of this makes sense yet. But what I do know is that they was going to slight Shaq and Kobe regardless. And what's interesting to me is they keep mentioning Steph won without another All-Star and Jokic won without an All-Star as well. So I guess the main thing that we can take away from this list is that they're punishing Shaq and Kobe for playing together. Shaq and Kobe is getting dropped on this list because they played together. Like that's a superstar and a superstar side by side. Because they're rewarding and exalting Steph from being able to get a ring without a superstar, without an all-star. Right? So he got 2 without an all-star on this. Well, that's not even true because Draymond and Clay made all-star. So they're saying Steph got it without a number 2 superstar. So Clay's not a superstar and Steph still run 2 rings with him. So we got to put Steph higher. Then they're saying Jokic won 1 ring without an all-star. So we got to put him up higher as well. But since Shaq and Kobe played together, we got to drop them. But here's the funny thing. They didn't drop LeBron from number 1 from playing with Wade and Bosh, Ray Allen, and from playing with AD, Dwight Howard, and freaking Rondo, and playing with Westbrook and Melo, and playing with Luka. And now he's trying to go play with Steph again. LeBron didn't lose any points for playing with all that greatness. But Shaq and Kobe gets dropped down for playing with all that greatness, and Steph and Jokic get exalted. Right? So they were going to make this list about how can we drop Shaq and Kobe regardless and then contradict themselves in the entire list. Because if you're going to drop them for that, there's no way you can have LeBron at number 1. There's no way. So let's hear what they said about Kobe. This is what we're here for. They wrote a lot. He played from 96 to 2016. A sizable and vocal contingent of NBA fans consider Kobe Bryant to be the best basketball player who ever lived. Analytics don't exactly support that case. And the analytics is his field goal percentage. That's the analytics they talking about. His field goal percentage. This is insane. Making him the perimeter test case in the ongoing battle of numbers versus eye tests. So everybody watch the game and see that Kobe is the best player they ever seen play, but field goal percentage tells them he's not. That's basically what they're saying. Playing all 20 seasons of his NBA season with the Lakers, Bryant was a 5-time champion, a 2-time Finals MVP, 1-time League MVP, 12-time NBA All Defensive Team selection, 15-time All NBA choice. It speaks to his lasting impact that those incredible accomplishments pale in comparison to his legacy of Mamba mentality. Now here come the cap, which has only grown stronger following his tragic death in 2020. I almost curse. Get the heck out of here. First of all, that's a lie. This dude had an entire Mamba Academy that DeMar DeRozan, Candace Parker, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, Paul. You can name it. Diana Taurasi. So many people was coming to train there. The Mamba Academy, the Mamba mentality, everything that stand for was already huge before Kobe passed. They keep lying and trying to make it seem like him being tragically taken from the world is the reason why everybody is saying that he's this great. Like, all that is a lie. Like, a lot of people say, oh man, no one said Kobe was this good until after he passed. I'm like, that's a daggone lie. Like, you can go, like, if you actually watch the games when he was playing with the Lakers, playing with Shaq, like, there's commentators, Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Like, you name it, they all was discussing him being the greatest player in the game and compare it with Michael Jordan, Mark Jackson, so many people that called the games. Like, you can just pull up an old game, watch it, and listen to how they talk about Kobe. Pull up an old halftime show of Inside the NBA on TNT with Shaq and Kenny, and not Shaq, but before Shaq got there with Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck. And Chuck is talking about how great he is. I don't compare nobody to Mike except Kobe. Like this is the things they were saying. So no, this is not something that just came about after he passed. The Mamba mentality is not something that has grown, because what they're really trying to say, they're saying it nicely by saying it grew stronger after he died. It's the same. It was already strong. They didn't grow no stronger. It was already strong. They say people shout out Kobe as they hurl ball upwards of paper toward garbage cans. Like, that just happened after his death. I mean, it's whole episodes of Dave Chappelle where he's saying Kobe. Like this, like they were saying this in 2001, 2002. Like, we've been saying Kobe. Like, they just trying to make it seem like this is something that just came about after 2020. And his 2015 poem, Dear Basketball, which later served as a screenplay for an Oscar-winning short film, Bryant perfectly encapsulated what the game meant to him and correspondingly what he meant to so many fans. You asked for my hustle, I gave you my heart because it came with so much more. That was a sweet way to end it, but Cap in the middle. Right? So I'm trying to figure out why his 5 rings got him at number 6, but Jokic is at number 4 with 1 ring. 5 rings more than what LeBron got with 4, more than what Curry got with 4. They didn't mention that he won 2 back-to-back and appeared in 1 because he went to 3 straight. He lost 1. And Powell wasn't considered an all-star before he got to the Lakers. He was one once he got there. But they're not going to mention that. They're going to say Steph won without a superstar. Like Clay ain't like that. Jokic run without an all-star, like he ain't got 3 French all-stars. Definitely Murray and Gordon is up in the air where the MPJ, I think he got the talent, but they just act like Jokic ain't playing with nobody. So, and then remember I told you they was counting Jokic, Steph, and LeBron where they finished at in the MVP race, top 10. Only thing they said for Kobe is he won 1. They didn't say how many times he finished in the top 10. Like, how many times did Kobe finish in the top 10? You said that for Duncan. You said it for LeBron. You said it for Jokic. How many times they finished in the top 10? You didn't say it for Shaq and Kobe. I just find that odd. Right? But nonetheless, that's CBS Sports. Here's the top 10 right here. Y'all can go and look up to see the whole top 25. You go be What they got Wade is going to be pretty. What they got. Hey, bro, this top 25 was hilarious, but for the most part, they really wanted to put this out here just so you can get the rage bait from Nikola over Shaq and Kobe at number 6. Right. So if I was to do this list over again for sure, my top 3 will be Kobe, Duncan, and Shaq, and I don't know which order I will put it in. I think Kobe is the better player out of those 3, but if we count the best player of the decade, you gotta, you can only account for what happened in the decade. So it'd be very interesting if I sit down and actually come up with some type of formula on how I'm gonna do it. But I know my top 3 is Duncan, Shaq, Kobe. Just guessing right off the back of my head, I probably would have it Kobe, Duncan, Shaq, in that order. And then for number 4, it's hands down LeBron. And then for number 5, it's KD. Number 6 is Steph. Number 7 is number 7 might be Garnett. Number 8, Dirk. Number 9, number 9 is Jokic, and number 10 is Giannis. So that's how I would reorder it. So yeah, Jokic is way too high. Jokic is below everybody except Giannis. Dirk, Garnett, Durant, like they just they did too much, and I'm not impressed by whatever CBS is impressed by. Jokic being at number 4, but at the end of the day, it's their publication, and we all we all know why they make the list. They do it for rage. So I guess give them what they want, give them the attention, give them the clicks. I guess people will talk about it. Maybe ESPN will talk about it tomorrow, but we'll see. But other than that, man, I catch y'all. I'll probably do a live this afternoon. I'll probably do a full show with call-ins this afternoon. So that'll be that. And then y'all will probably see us. Not probably, y'all definitely will see us Friday for Full Panel Friday with the Full Panel. Apologize for missing this Friday, but some things came up with the team and we had to postpone it. So we'll have a good show for y'all this coming Friday. And then Sunday, our football show. We'll be up Sunday morning discussing some football. So all y'all football lovers, y'all tune in to our show on Sunday. So I see y'all this afternoon. I see y'all again on Friday. And then I see y'all Sunday. Peace.